Aries, this month you are trying to figure out how to handle things more effectively and trying to figure out whether you should try to salvage something or perhaps turn your back on a partnership. You have the Five of Cups as representative of you with the Eight of Wands. And so you could feel a sense of being emotionally let down. There may have been some issues within your relationship, some communication problems, maybe something surrounding travel. Perhaps you even felt like you were falling in love with this person or vice versa. And you're very focused on the past. Maybe you're turning your back on falling in love, or somebody's turning their back on a travel engagement. But you are focused on what you have lost. There's a sense of perhaps abandonment or betrayal or disappointment. And it could have been you placed yourself in a situation where somebody let you down once again, or circumstances let you down once again. And you're feeling so emotionally wrought that you may not even be consolable. Nobody can offer any words of support, and yet there is support there for you. Perhaps there's been a relationship, or you've been ignoring your partner in some way. And it may have to do with romance. Maybe you're involved in a new love relationship, and maybe you're not giving it, the attention that it deserves, or you got some communication, something that occurred unexpectedly, that came all of a sudden. Something came to a head, and you perhaps, if you weren't ready to get on board, maybe you were overwhelmed by circumstances. Now, your partner is represented by the Page of Swords and Chariot. So they may have been very emotional about a situation and maybe trying to find some things out. And with the Page of Swords, perhaps this was an air sign person. It could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female. With the Chariot, could have been a Cancer. Or it just could be the traits connected to these cards. So the Page of Swords says that communication, thinking was important to your partner. And this person was very emotional. They may have even gotten angry. Or perhaps that's the influence that they have on you. So something may have come to a head. Somebody got very emotional because they were being affected in a way that perhaps the other person didn't realize. Somebody may be trying to find something out about travel or trying to work through a conflict. And in the process, there could have been angry words. There could have been, a confrontation. Maybe somebody was sarcastic. Maybe somebody was a truth speaker. So this is trying to find something out connected to a conflict or travel, and it's likely that travel or communication is part of your relationship equation this month. And it may be tied to something romantic. It could be, seeking some excitement, a sense of adventure, but something out of the ordinary. And somebody is very focused on something, achieving some kind of objective or goal, and they may be very determined, and they may be putting all of their thought process into that. So there's some single-minded purpose, but both of you have to be careful about running over the other person with your agenda, because there's a spiritual lesson to the Chariot card which says that you're learning lessons about working together as opposed to being apathetic. And so, this is about forcefully pushing ideas or thoughts in ways that are negative. It's a win at all costs. Or somebody may be very reckless or overly emotional. So there's some self-mastery that needs to be gained by either you or your partner. And you're trying to discern something, or your partner is. Discernment about a parental situation or a long-term relationship, the age of something, the wisdom of something. And somebody may be wearing a game face while they're trying to figure out a strategy or the other person. Now, your romance is characterized by the King of Swords. So we have air energy. This is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this king combined with the Ace of Swords. So a lot of thought and communication is central to your relationship. And again, you may be trying to handle things more effectively. The King of Swords says that perhaps intimacy and emotions is not the strong suit for one of you. And maybe you or the partner, the way you deal with problems is you try to find the answer or a solution, or you solve the problem. You're very analytical or caught up in your head, or your partner is. It could also be that somebody's cutting through the BS to get to the truth of a situation. Maybe you're trying to form an agreement. For some of you, maybe you're getting some advice. Maybe this is, things have come to a head and it's become a legal situation, and so you're seeking some kind of counsel. But whatever this is, between you and your partner, there's some kind of stimulation, some stimulating conversations. Maybe you and your partner are introducing each other to some new ideas, some new concepts. You're looking at and relating in new and different ways. You're looking at relationship differently. You're communicating differently, for better or for worse. Now, it could be that either of you are waiting for the other person to make the first move, and so consequently nothing is moving along. Or one of you is finding the courage to speak your truth, put things out there, get to the truth of a situation, the heart of the matter, and tell the other person how you feel. So again, this is about handling things more effectively, centering around expression and communication. Now, for some of you, that means that you need to inject some passion into your relationship, maybe some flirtation, or you need to let the other person know that you're attracted, that you're in it, that you feel connected to your partner, or vice versa. But for others of you, there could be some arguments, some sarcasm, some sharp words centered around flirtatiousness, looking outside of the relationship for conversation or for stimulation. Now, the problem is the Six of Coins and Fool. And perhaps there are issues connected to finances or travel or getting some form of recognition. Maybe there are even some health upsets that you're having to deal with. But you are making some important decisions that are taking you in a new direction. Maybe you're meeting new people, having new experiences. There are also issues of commitment and, using your common sense, not being reckless, not being naive or gullible in a situation. And so that's a problem area between you and your partner. Something new and unexpected could have occurred that you weren't prepared for, or that you don't have the experience to deal with, and it's creating an issue. It could be, again, that one of you was so self-absorbed that you failed to recognize the needs, the feelings, or the sensitivity of your partner. Because the Six of Coins says that there is an attempt to adjust the scales of balance. There's an imbalance somewhere, and you want to make that adjustment. You want to get what you feel you deserve, what you're due. One of you may be trying to control the other one through financial manipulation. You're metering out the money, giving it to them just as they need it or for what you think it's needed for, or maybe you're not giving them their share. Either you or the partner are keeping more of the money than is fair. Maybe you're giving attention to other people. You're not paying attention to your partner. So there's a decision that has to be made, an important decision. And again, a spiritual lesson about using common sense, not being reckless, not being foolish, letting your intuition guide you. And it may have to do with finances, whether you're taking your financial concerns seriously, whether there's too much play and not enough work, or whether there's too much work and not enough play. So you have a new sense of purpose about how you want to handle your life, your domestic affairs, your connection to your partner. And so you may be willing to try to make some adjustments, to repair it, to improve it, to get some clarity with regard to whatever this problem area is related to finances, travel, decisions, recreation. The underlying energy is this Five of Wands. So you are struggling with something. Maybe you're struggling financially, maybe you're struggling emotionally. It could be that you're bickering with your partner. There's this tit for tat, because this is a struggle of ego where both of you may want to be in charge, or you've got to have the last word. Or maybe you are struggling with romance, making those romantic gestures. Again, the King of Swords says that there's difficulty in being intimate. Maybe somebody's caught up in their head and they're not mindful of their words. So you could be listening to your intuition about how to move forward in a romance, or you could be getting some kind of intuitive guidance. You could be getting some counseling with regard to that. So you may be coming together with others in order to solve a problem, because something unexpected is going to give you some pause. You're going to be looking at if you're doing the right things, if your partner was really sincere. You're going to question your own motivation with regard to relationship. And in some cases, maybe you step up to the plate. Maybe you decide to let bygones be bygones. You're going to behave honorably. You're going to take more responsibility, especially if there's been an imbalance, because you're going to be aware of what your partner's boundaries are, and you're going to want to not overstep that and trigger your partner. Now, for some of you, there's the possibility that you're going to meet some new person. But for others of you, you're going to have this discussion where you get to the truth of a situation and you both have a meeting of the minds. Maybe you gain some sudden insight on what it is that's triggering your partner. You have an aha moment. So you're gaining some understanding surrounding conflict. Now, the outcome is this Page of Cups and the Three of Cups. So this is water energy. It could be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of the page. Your feelings are changing with regard to this relationship, for better or for worse. A situation was rolling along, and at a certain point, that didn't work anymore. And so you decided, or your partner did, to move in a new direction. Again, it may have been surprising to you, may have come on all of a sudden, but your feelings are changing. And you may be questioning the direction that your relationship is going in. It could be that you're feeling very love-struck, or your partner is, or you recognize where there's a lack of experience with regard to love. Could also be that there's some kind of social function or some invitation, offer, or proposal that's on the table that may have to do with some form of celebration or a gathering, connecting with others. Maybe you're going to go out with your friends as a result of something. Maybe you're entertaining people. But there's also this implication of a third party that could be negatively interfering. And you're likely to hear some information, especially with this Page of Swords, prying into affairs. But you're going to have to really take stock of the information that you receive, because somebody may be distorting the facts. They may be overblowing something, embellishing, changing, could be gossip, lying. So you're going to have to really take to heart what's on offer, because at the center of it may be an untruth or some kind of distortion. But for some of you, maybe you decide to share how you feel. It could be that you've made the determination that your relationship is not salvageable, that you need to turn your back on it, and that going any further is a mistake. But for others of you, you may find that, you want to work on it. And there's some kind of secret involved. So somebody may be sharing some secrets that connect to your domestic affairs. Maybe, this is during some kind of social function, or perhaps it's pertaining to home or property, purchasing a large property, maybe the keys to the house, who's holding the keys. It could be moving in together. There's some kind of secret where your feelings have now changed about a situation. Now, your advice card is, my individuality is honored in a loving relationship. So you are being introduced to some new concepts, some new ideas. And again, that may be stimulating, it may be jarring, it may come in the form of conversation, or it may come in the form of confrontation. But the lesson is that you may not be exactly like your partner, nor would you want them to be, and you should honor those differences and respect them. So you're sharing your feelings. There's an opportunity to share, to connect, to get information, to gain insight. You're doing some kind of review. And this is likely to be tied to some opportunity where you're on the threshold making that decision. Should I walk through the door? Should I stay here? Should I move backwards? What should I do? And you're going to have to listen closely to your gut. You're going to have to sift through information, what you're being told, what you're hearing, what the truth is. You're going to have to listen to your intuition to guide you to those answers. Because if you don't, you may be vulnerable to attack by your partner. Your relationship could be open to the influence of other people if you don't trust your own gut, your own instincts. And you're likely to deal with some kind of frustration because of outside interference. Maybe you hear this painful news, maybe you were expecting it, maybe you weren't, and how you're able to cope with what's happening is going to be important. It could be that there's been a breakdown of communication, a misunderstanding of some sort that needs to be resolved. It's likely that something about your relationship is going to involve some form of turmoil due to outside events, external factors that are weighing in, some unexpected changes that are coming because of other people. You also have a focus on benefits that come through other people, or perhaps some kind of favor, and perhaps this is tied to a promise that was made or some kind of invitation to an event. And this is going to be an emotional month because of the change in plan. Now again, the way to move through this situation is to understand the importance of working with others, to not be apathetic, to use your common sense, to not be reckless in a situation, to be observant of the other person, their needs, their emotions. And this is going to center around your mood set, your thinking, how you respond to whatever is happening around you. And again, dealing with some form of drama that's likely tied to expectations or some kind of demand. All right, Aries, make some changes and create a revolution in your relationship.